Hi there, my name is Steve Gearhart, and as always, this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. I always appreciate that you do. So again, thank you so much. I still got the crud, and apparently it's one of those long-term cold things according to the doctor, so I got a couple more weeks of this. I got some tea brewing, and if the video seems a little wonky-chonky kind of thing, it's probably because I had to stop suddenly and cough up a boatload of phlegm. Yay. Hopefully I'll feel better by the new year. Let's hope so. Anyway, so this week we are going to talk about mostly Christmassy kind of things. We're going to talk about my favorite subject this time of year, which is KFC in Japan. I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite Christmas anime episodes, and we'll talk about a couple other little tiny things, and then that'll be the second to last video of 2024. Yes, the video after this will be the last one of this 2024 season, and then we go into the filler season, which I'll explain later. So, yeah, it's Christmas, and so let's get into it. So I love the entire concept of Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. It's just one of those things where it's just kind of like, in my mind, that works so well. And if I could pull it off here in America to have a Christmas feast of nothing but KFC, that would be awesome to me, I think. We kind of all know the story, but I'm just going to retell it just real quick here. A bunch of Japanese businessmen decided to open up a chain of Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants in Japan, certain areas of Japan, mostly where American military servicemen are stationed, and that was kind of give them a taste of home so that they wouldn't be so homesick and make a buck or two on the side. So they did this, and it didn't work quite as well as they had wanted it to. So the chain started to collapse, and more stores started to close down, until finally this one guy, legend has it that he was actually inside of his KFC, sleeping on a sack of potatoes because he invested all his money into this restaurant, and he was trying to figure out how to keep this afloat. So he had a brilliant idea as it was coming on Christmas, and he made KFC for Christmas. So basically what he did is that he just really did have this great marketing plan. Kind of got the colonel of KFC, kind of put him up in Christmas gear a little bit, and kind of did this marketing shtick of KFC for Christmas, thinking that American servicemen would come in and buy it in droves, and they did, but much to his surprise, so did a lot of Japanese. Now, it turns out that Japanese actually do like Kentucky Fried Chicken, and for whatever reason, the chain was failing. Nobody really knows why, but once this Christmas gimmick came out, they all bought into it. So KFC kind of saved Christmas, so to speak, and it has grown from there. So it is not unusual, if you're in Japan during Christmas time, to see people picking up an order of a Christmas feast from a KFC outlet, and it's a big deal. Like it's a lot of chickens, it's a lot of rolls, it's gravy, the wonderful mashed potatoes. You get to choose your original or crispy. You go original. That's my personal favorite. All that stuff, is made to order, and you just stop by, you pick it up, and you take it home. Because remember, in Japan, you don't really have a day off for Christmas because it's not really a national holiday. It's just something that they observe, which is kind of a cool thing that Japanese do, which they have something that they like, they kind of observe it, but they don't necessarily have to incorporate it as a national holiday. So people kind of, get into the spirit of Christmas, and they get their food. Maybe dad comes home, and on his way home, and mom calls him and says, hey, don't forget the chicken from KFC. Okay, got it, pick it up. And it's just a wonderful, easy, nice meal to have on Christmas. Very much a lot of reduction in stress, I think. Unlike here in America, where we have to make everything from scratch. All the rolls have to be made from scratch. Oh my God, the Christmas turkey is ruined, or Christmas is ruined because the feast is ruined. Whatever. You get the idea. There's a lot of stress involved, and it would just be a lot more simpler if we could just go to KFC and just go, yeah, we're just gonna get a lot of chicken rolls and mashed potatoes and gravy, okay? And that's gonna be dinner, Christmas dinner. I'm up for that. How about you guys? Would you guys be up for that? I'd love to do that sometime. Maybe I will. And if I do, I will let you guys know. So anyway, yes, KFC for Christmas. if those of you who are living in Japan, who are from America or other places, let us know what you think about that. If you happen to be Japanese and you happen to be watching the show for some reason, let us know if that's like a really good tradition for you guys or not. Put the comments down below. So yes, I want a petition. I want it to be official that KFC is the provider for the Christmas feast here in America. What do you say? Would you sign that petition? I think you would. So we like to joke about how in anime there's always the swimsuit episode. It's like if you have a long enough running anime that there's usually the obligatory everyone goes on vacation to the beach, and you have the swimsuit episode. To a lesser degree, you kind of have the Christmas episode too. It's not mandatory like the swimsuit one is usually, but you find it a lot. And one of my personal favorite Christmas story episodes in an anime is from an anime that I completely adore, which is, of course, Komi Can't Communicate. For those of you who have not seen Komi, basically Komi is a very beautiful girl in high school who has very severe social awkwardness, and she can't really speak to people, and she's struggling to make friends. And it is a comedy, but it does touch on this issue of social anxiety, social awkwardness, those kinds of things. Particularly for a person that you would offhand, by looking at them, think, why would they have that problem? Because Komi is presented as a very beautiful girl that everyone simply adores and loves. So the Christmas episode, so now that you know that she can't speak to people, or has a very hard time of speaking to people, the Christmas episode is such that her birthday and Christmas are on the same day, or her birthday is right after Christmas. One of those two. Anyway, so very close together. And she's looking at the calendar in this episode. It's episode 16, I believe. And she's looking at the calendar, and she notices it's Christmas, and she's kind of bored. She doesn't have any plans or whatever. So she gets a phone call from Najimi, who is, the kind of, like the big class extrovert, and basically tells her, by the way, a bunch of us are going to be showing up at your house, and we're going to have a Christmas party at your house, and we're going to do gift exchange. So just to let you know, we'll be there in a few hours. Bye. So Komi's social anxiety level just, skyrockets, right? So anyway, she enlists the aid of her friend, or not her friend, her brother, Shosuke, and they go to the mall to buy presents, for everybody. And Shosuke is not socially awkward. He's just antisocial, and he keeps trying to get out of it. So the first part of the episode is Komi trying to get him to help her, because he has a hard time speaking to people, to buy these presents. And so, she's having a lot of problems. So Shosuke finally, helps her out, whatever. The friends show up to the house. I'm intentionally leaving a lot of things blank because I want you to watch the episode. The friends show up to the house, and they know that her birthday and Christmas are basically together. And so as they're standing outside in the snow, she answers the door, and they all start filing in. They said, here's the present that we got you. It was this big plush cat. And she's holding on to it, staring at it with the wide eyes as they're filing past and going into her house. And her mother is, preparing snacks and stuff. And they're looking out, and they're like, oh no, she doesn't like the gift we got her. Shoot, darn it. And what they don't realize is that she is processing, A, the fact that all these people showed up, B, that they gave her a gift, and C, she loves this gift. She grabs it and buries her face in it, totally loving it. Tadano, her friend, comes out and realizes what's going on, because he seems to be able to communicate with her even though she can barely speak to anybody, and says to her, oh, you like it, wonderful. Hey, after the party, make sure you thank everybody, because we all chipped in and got it for you. And she nods in agreement. And they go into the party, and the party is just basically this comedy of who gets to sit next to the beautiful Komi. Everyone adores her. Who gets to sit next to her? Who gets to do the games? All this stuff is centered around her. Of course, she's just like, But as all these episodes usually end, they end well and happy and all that. The second half of the episode is actually Tadano, her friend, and all of her other friends at the mall trying to figure out what to get for Komi. And then there's that whole wonderful slapstick comedy thing where they buy some interesting gifts, and one girl wants to buy some really inappropriate things, but we'll just leave it at that. And it's just a wonderful, light-hearted, very light episode. You know, we're not being slapped in the face with the 2x4 of Christmas is good and you must be good to other people. Whack. No, this is just basically a comedy of errors, comedy of, people with social awkwardness, and, not making fun of them, but, elevating the situation of how everybody actually wants to be her friend. Like, this isn't a pity thing. They genuinely like her and want her to be her friend and kind of understand her lack of communication to various degrees. So it's just a really heartwarming episode. It's really nice, and I hope you watch it. If you haven't seen Komi Can't Communicate, I believe it's still on Netflix. You can, of course, find it just about anywhere streaming at this point. And I do hope you give it a try, because it is just a wonderful slice of life, kind of a rom-com. I don't want to spoil it, but kind of a rom-com. And so give it a try. And if nothing else, at least try episode 16 and watch the Christmas episode of Komi Can't Communicate. Alright, so there's the KFC story, a Christmas episode that I particularly enjoy. One of the things I like watching on YouTube and various other places is how other people, other cultures celebrate Christmas or holidays like it. And it's always kind of fun to watch the walking videos in Japan. I'll see if I can find a couple holiday ones for the SideTube channel. I'll leave the link down below. And it's just like all the lights in the paths, you walk, and it's usually snowy, and that kind of things. I really like those kinds of things. We have something similar to it in Baltimore, kind of, sorta. It's called Miracle on 34th Street. 34th Street here in Baltimore. There's a block where all the homes have, they're just decked out in row homes, decked out with Christmas lights, Christmas decorations, displays, the whole 9 yards. It's actually kind of a big deal. And if you live there in that particular block, you kind of have to participate into it, so you can't really be a Grinch about it. But there's some really interesting stuff there. Like, there's one guy who's a welder, and he has a hubcap Christmas tree that he puts out every year. And not only do you see this stuff on the lawn and on the houses, and they drape lights across the street, but some of the homes will actually open up their living room to you, so you can file in and see their holiday, how they celebrate their holiday. And it's really kind of neat. If I can find a link to that, I'll put it down below. So if you're ever in Baltimore during Christmas time, check out Miracle on 34th Street. So, yes, Christmas is, I wouldn't say a favorite holiday of mine, but I certainly do enjoy it. And I hope you do too. So we're coming down to the end of this particular episode. And next week, we're going to talk about the year that was, 2024, for this channel. Some interesting stuff happened. I got to do some fun things. Baby Metal was one of them. And we got some stuff to talk about for the future. Yes. So all will be explained. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with this channel, between January and about mid-February or so, I don't do normal episodes. I just do what I call filler episodes. They may be like a couple minutes long. They might be 5 minutes long. They may be even an hour long. It doesn't matter. And they're of a variety of topics and things. So just to keep the channel going, and so you can come by and kind of take a look at things. So I call them the filler episodes. So yes, that'll be coming up here fairly shortly. We're going to talk some things about anime archaeology. We're going to be changing things up again for those of you who have been watching lately. Yes, we have completed filming for the next season of that. and and Brent is doing the editing right now. We're going to be talking about Evangelion, the original series. We're going to be talking about Ghost in the Shell, first season. We're going to be talking about Anne of Green Gables, of course, because how can we not? I believe Princess Tutu is somewhere in there. I'm not sure. So I'll be talking more about that in the next episode, about the deep dives we do there. And I think that's it. Stay well, be well. Love you guys. And happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And as always, watch more anime.